per ounce, and silver is over $100 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold and silver for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is Paige, owner of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. People ask me all the time, what's healthy? And that's hard because healthy is different from losing weight. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. There are a lot of foods out there that are healthy foods, but they're not going to support your weight loss. And that's what we're here to help with. We're here to help you get in the healthy foods that are going to help you lose weight. The Awaken 180 difference is our coaches. It's our team. You can find things online about weight loss, but you try them yourself and they just don't work. And that's because everyone is different. And that's what our coaches are so skilled at helping you figure out.
Thanks, Paige. Hacker here. Figuring it out, that's what I needed. And the reason I chose Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Not a med, not a diet plan. I wanted a solution. Do what I did and make a 180 with your health and weight. Schedule your Awaken 180 consultation today. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Kuhn Flowers. While March Madness took an unexpected turn, top-seeded Florida is eliminated. Iowa stunned the defending champions with a victory, clinched by a decisive three-pointer with just 4.5 seconds remaining. Sporting Jack stays rolling, a 3-0 win at Dallas made it 4 straight. Bailey DeSmit and Paige Kitten scored before halftime, and Caitlin Parks posted her 4th consecutive shutout. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 68 degrees at 10:01, time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Do you feel like the fans know who C-Rod is?
I feel like they do, but obviously never satisfied.
Yes,
so, we're going to keep working, keep getting better, keep grinding, and hopefully one day everybody know.
This is your captain speaking. Thank you for flying Teal Airlines. As we begin our descent to Jacksonville, we have sunny skies and a crisp 47 degrees. And Chris Rodriguez, welcome to Duval.
Taking on tacklers, Rodriguez, chiseling yardage, touchdown.
I mean, one of the toughest backs I've been around in terms of you hand them the football, you typically know you're going to get 4 yards. You're usually going to get an efficient run when Chris has got the ball in his hands.
Handoff here, it's Rodriguez again, slipping a tackle, and look at Rodriguez leapfrogging the defense.
Hungry runner, just a teammate, like a great teammate, always ready, didn't complain, wasn't a guy, politicking to get on the field with anybody in the media or anything like that. And I think it's cool, too, now he gets to go with an offensive coordinator and a head coach that worked with him in college and obviously has a lot of belief in it.
Good run, Rodriguez busting into the outside, chase down from behind.
Chris Rodriguez is in fact somebody that if you watch the tape, you understand very quickly exactly who he is as a football player, the superpowers that he taps into consistently. And, if you draw back to his time at Kentucky, it's remained a constant.
Once he gets a full head of steam going, not a ton of people want to tackle him in the open field.
This past year was his career year, 112 carries, 500 yards, 6 scores. Very different back than Travis Etienne. I would say a very different back than Baker Tootin, and a very different back than LaQuint Allen.
Rodriguez is the running back. Up the middle, Rodriguez, touchdown!
Why Jacksonville? I think, it's an opportunity. I feel like it was going to be the best opportunity for me. I know Liam and he knows me, and I know the type of standard he expects, and I feel like we can get that done.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
All right, good morning, everybody. Happy new week here on Jaguars Today and on 1010XL, kicking off a Monday. I don't know who this Travis Etienne guy that they're referencing, Tony, is. Travis Etienne, of course, the former Jaguar. Now, New Orleans Saint, we got maybe a new Jaguar in Jake Bobo. We'll talk about that today, although the Seattle Seahawks still have a couple of days to decide about that. NCAA tournament makes it to the Sweet 16. Tony Smith, Vandy just needed another inch of that ball going down.
Yeah. I think everyone on the court thought it was going down, but it didn't.
It looked good, kind of similar to when Butler almost pulled it off against Duke with that half-court heave back in the day. So I'm happy my team made it to the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect, despite the fact that I picked them to go to the Final Four, don't expect I'll be right about that. But still got all four teams in my bracket for the Final Four.
Yeah, the Final Four
7
is
out
still
of 8
alive.
in the Elite 8.
I got 6 out of 8 still going.
Yeah, Vandy was the one. I had Vandy knocking off Florida. They both lost. So I think a lot of people are going to have a hole in that spot as far as that goes.
Yeah.
RJ Saunders, how was your weekend?
I'm still trying to get my voice back after Saturday.
Oh.
The shenanigans that happened there.
What happened? What were the shenanigans?
Girlfriend and I went to the Lakers game, Lakers versus Magic. Exciting finish.
Being that we're a Magic affiliate, would that not be the Magic game that you went to?
The Magic game, but as many Laker fans that were there, I classified doggone near as a Lakers home game.
Okay.
As many fans were there. So, last 2-minute report from the NBA referees and the NBA. Probably Orlando should have won that game. But,
I have no idea of the drama that might have gone down. I didn't pay a single lick of attention to the Orlando Magic this weekend, I guess. I have to be honest with you. That's okay.
But hey, nice win by the Knicks against, albeit the Washington Wizards was a good win.
I'll take any win. Anyone's a good win. As far I'm not kidding. I'm not here to hype up the Knicks Wizards game, man. I mean, there was plenty of good NCAA tournament action that went down, to the buzzer in many cases, including, Florida. Falling to Iowa, just the way it went. Didn't have them going deep. I thought they would, honestly, didn't pick them to go to the Final Four, Tony. I'm surprised that they're out before the first weekend is over with, but I guess that's what happens when you're number 1 seed. You're going to be surprised. First time in a while, a 9 has knocked off a 1. Doesn't happen what is it, like since 2018, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
Something along those lines. So anyway, if you enjoyed the NCAA tournament, good. If you didn't, that's okay. I understand, particularly if your team got knocked out. But, we're through the first 2 rounds, and on we go. Still live in the bracket contest, but don't expect to win. I never do.
Yeah, my margin for victory in the contest, I expect it to be very slim. I have to get the Final Four right, and they're all still alive, right? And I obviously, if you're getting to that point, there's a lot of people who have a similar matchup, right, in the Final Four and into the final, it looks like. So I need to have the right result in the final. Like, the only chance I have is to nail the Final Four, and it's got to be Arizona over Duke, right? Like, that's the only chance I have to win, but that's the way these kind of contests
that's kind of how
go.
it goes. Whoever gets the Final Four ends up getting it quite often. So anyway.
I don't know if I got this stat right or not. It was on social media. Duke, when they've won national championships in basketball, normally they've had to get past St. John's. So
they have often.
I don't know if it's a good omen.
I saw any 1 seed that has played a 6-point or closer game with a 16 seed. It is a horrible historic outcome. Only one of those teams has ever made the Final Four. And most of them, about half of them had lost in the very next round. Obviously, Duke avoided that. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past, but history is not kind to teams that struggle with the 16 seed in round 1. We'll see if that holds up or not, and it's a whole new tournament next weekend. So, Tone, I didn't plan on it, but I'll be honest, I was interested to see how the flag football thing went down with the NFL players in it, so we'll talk about that a little bit today. It is Mock Draft Monday. What are you shoveling in your mouth in there, man? Popcorn? Skinny Pop? What is that? Skinny Pop?
Skinny Pop.
Is that right? You one of those guys? Is that your brand? Or let me guess, Kara got you onto that brand.
No. It was me. I'm just trying to, low carbs, stuff like that, calorie counting.
You know, it's even lower carbs than that. No popcorn.
Correct.
Is lower carbs.
Correct. I have not ate breakfast. So
okay.
This is breakfast.
You chose to go with popcorn for breakfast.
Yeah.
Trying to watch those carbs.
Trying to watch those calories. Yes.
Okay. That's an interesting choice for sure. All right. Well, maybe if you want Jake Bobo to not have his the contract, the offer sheet matched by Seattle, you're happy that Seattle seems to have a little less money to spend as they just dumped it all on Jackson Smith and Jigba within the last hour. He's getting What is he getting? 120 guaranteed in his deal, 42 a year.
Something. I don't know where the guaranteed money is, but yeah, 42 a year.
Biggest contract ever for a wide receiver. I saw 120 million guaranteed on a 4-year deal. Yeah,
it's by $2 million
a year.
Like Jamar Chase got that $40 million contract last year, and Jackson's getting the one this offseason, and it's almost $2 million bigger than what Jamar Chase got last season.
Will Jamar Chase withhold services at any point before his next contract extension is signed? I'm going to guess yes.
That guy, yeah.
I'm going to guess absolutely yes. You know,
Yeah.
But Jackson Smith-Njigba did have a hell of a year, was Offensive Player of the Year, won the Super Bowl. Kind of hard to argue against him deserving that money.
Yeah.
And you could say, well, is he the best in the league? Well, he is the best who had the opportunity to have his contract come up for renewal, and he performed like one of the top 3 or 4 players.
It's just
at his
wild the
position.
way these things tend to happen, right? Because you look at the numbers now at the wide receiver position, there's a grouping after those top 2 guys, right? Jamar Chase got that deal done last year, $40.25 million a year. Is what he wound up getting. Jackson signing one that's $42.15 now, so he's almost $2 million more than what Jamar was getting. Then it drops from 40 to 35 on the contract that Justin Jefferson got, and then it groups. CeeDee Lamb at 34, DK Metcalf at 33, Garrett Wilson at 32.5, right? Like there's this group of guys that are kind of the top of the market. Jamar Chase reset it, and now Jackson's reset it again. You know, and the gap, that's not some insignificant gap between
No,
those
it's not.
guys.
And then there are different levels there. Like Justin Jefferson's more on the Chase JSN level.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf is, what is he doing in this area? Is how I feel anyway for, what I think is.
Yeah, he got to sign it last year. That's why. Yeah.
No, good for him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you're looking at which of those guys does not belong on that.
For sure.
That status level, and at least in my opinion, DK would not fit with those other guys to that same degree. But hey, good money if you can get it. So today, got a lot to get into, including the question of the day, simply asking you your reaction to Jake Bobo signing an offer sheet. Look, it's what we got, right? We had Chris Rodriguez. We're playing brand new opens for Chris Rodriguez for the last couple shows, okay? Because we got nothing else when it comes to new talent on this roster. So we'll see if Jake Bobo's option gets picked up by Seattle or not. The way the Jags structured it may make it a little bit difficult. So we'll talk about that going forward. If you want to get in, the ways to do it, of course, 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Stream us on YouTube, on X, on Facebook. Hit us up on the socials at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at R has no J. All right, ladies and gentlemen, fresh week kicking off. Jaguar football on the agenda. Let's talk it with you here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
You can always tell which ones were captured in the wild by the look in their eyes. The Wildcat.
1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mike Dempsey. If you're thinking about a bathroom upgrade, maybe turning that old tub into a safer walk-in shower, check out 5 Star Bath Solutions. I shopped around, talked to several companies, and I chose 5 Star because their customer service was simply incredible. Responsive, honest, upfront about the entire project, and their pricing was even better than expected. When you're ready for a fresh look, better comfort, and a bathroom space you'll love using every day, schedule your free consultation at 5starbathsolutions.com and get the 5-star experience.
Jaguars Today Monday is built by Dream Finders Homes.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
World-renowned chef, humanitarian, veterinarian and founder of World Central Kitchen, Jose Andres, is coming to the Florida Forum March 31st. For your chance to win tickets, text FORUM to the text line covered by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
My Gate Rewards members, this deal is just for you. Right now, grab any 2 12-ounce Red Bulls and get 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $1. When you need a boost, Gates got you. See store for details.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
Save big and head to Ronnie's Repair on Sunbeam Road, your local sales and servicing Toro dealer, for their spring sales event this week. Ronnie's offers the full line of residential and commercial Toro zero-turn, stand-on, and walk-behind mowers in gas and battery options. Get groundbreaking savings on Toro Time Cutter, Titan, and Z-Master zero-turns, Grandstand multi-force stand-ons, and walk-behind mowers. Take advantage of the Toro 0% financing or Toro rebate on select mowers. Stop in this Wednesday through Friday to check out great deals and amazing finance offers. Ronnie's has everything you need to make your lawn look the best in the neighborhood. For more details on spring sales event deals, visit your local Toro dealer. Ronnie's Repair on Sunbeam Road. Browse the entire Toro line at ronniesrepairshop.net. All handhelds and accessories will be 10% off during the spring sales event.
The Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach is better than ever. Come experience our new renovated spaces, including an expanded wellness center with upgraded state-of-the-art equipment, recovery solutions, brand new locker rooms, and the Horsell Center for Health and Well-Being, all designed to help you feel your best. And now you can join with no joining fee. Plus, enjoy your 4th month free. There's no place like this place. And you'll love what's new. Visit the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach.
Southwest Greens is the OG of artificial turf in North Florida. Stop mowing and start chipping or putting or just relaxing with a beautiful backyard, maintenance free. Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, officially, here is how we phrase today's question of the day regarding Jake Bobo. What is your reaction to the Jaguars signing him to a 2-year, $5.5 million offer sheet? And as we expect in a lot of these polls, the middle 2 options running away with it, Tony. Your options are Bobo breakout incoming. In other words, this guy has just been waiting for the opportunity. Option 2, solid depth special teams addition. I expect a lot of people to end up. Option 3 doesn't move the needle for me, and I get it, right? I mean, people are like, oh, he'd be the Tim Patrick replacement. Did Tim Patrick move the needle for you? You can tell Tim Patrick's a fine football player, and he has a role and all those kind of things. People don't get excited about the 4th, 5th wide receiver generally. And then the final option is simply who as it regards to Jake Bobo. So more people are saying who than Bobo breakout incoming right now. But anyway, vote the way you see fit.
Yeah, it is funny how many years going into the season we were looking at the 4th or 5th wide receiver on the depth chart in Jacksonville, and there was really no difference in our minds between them and the 1. Right, like on the depth chart, and it was like, well, will they give this guy a chance to break out? Right, like that's certainly not the group that they have in the building right now.
No, Jake Bobo's a guy, though, who's known for his blocking, and he's a good special teams player, and he fills a role. And the way the Jags structured the contract, Tony, there's guaranteed money in the second year.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks, on guys like this that are not frontline players, reportedly don't like structuring contracts that way. So, obviously, if you're going to try to get a guy on a reasonable deal that the other team who has rights to him can match, you have to be a little bit creative in how you structure it. So we'll find out whether or not the Jags were able to do that. Remember, a few years ago, they had a little bit different circumstance. Tyson Alualu was signed to or agreed to terms in the opening couple of days. This wasn't the same. He was not a restricted free agent this, where, the Seahawks have the right to match any offer that's made. And if they don't match it, though, they don't get any compensation. And from the Jags standpoint, it doesn't impact the compensatory pick formula. So, if part of what you are focusing on this offseason is, okay, the Jags lose Travis Etienne, Devin Lloyd, Greg Newsome signed a $10 million a year deal, 1 year deal. They might get 4th, 5th, and 6th round selections unless they offset those losses with some big money gains. And so far, neither of the players that they've signed would impact that formula whatsoever.
Yeah, and the back half of the wide receiver depth chart right now is vacant, essentially, here in Jack. And so, the idea of adding a guy who would be the 4th, 5th guy, special teams being more the focus of what we want to get out of it, makes all kinds of sense in the world if they want to go that direction with it. It still doesn't, eliminate anything else they want to do in the draft or anything like that at the wide receiver position, right? Like, I still think it's in their mind, to continue to work on that group, because the back half, again, of the roster right now at wide receiver is open. And there is still the possibility, if they added a corner in this year's draft who does kind of project as a starting corner, maybe not immediately, but in the near term is going to be a starting corner somewhere for them, what does that do for how they want to use Travis Hunter even now? Right? And how much does it expand exactly? Like, we have it in our heads right now, he's a defensive player they're going to use a little bit on offense. If they added another guy in the draft that they felt like could be a starting corner for us at some point this year, what does that do for his availability on offense now?
Obviously, you would think it would increase his availability, right? And that is, like, right now, Brian Thomas under team control for 3 more years. Jacoby Myers signed a 3-year contract extension. Parker's in the last year of his rookie deal.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating, right? What do you pay him? You're not going to pay him $42 million. No. But what are you going to pay him?
Are you going to give him the 30?
What is that number that he is worth? And is he, on 1 year where he didn't even have 900 yards receiving, are you, do you have to see a 1,200-yard season for Parker Washington? And is he going to be used that much? You're right. It is fascinating, Tone. So from that standpoint, still, those are the top 3. 2 of them, are going to be around for a while. Travis Hunter is here.
Yep.
And he can be utilized as, one of your top 4 pass-catching options in that room. So, you look at it and you say, well, do they really need a receiver in the draft? No, they don't need one. They don't, right? Like, if Jake Bobo locks in here, you got 5 guys. Oftentimes, that's all you need, like on game day, right? And so you'll find another guy. But if the right guy, we've looked at a few of these mocks that we've done, and you're like, well, running back's off the table now, at least for us as an early selection. You don't, if I find a linebacker that I think can start right away, that's very appealing. If I find the right edge rusher, although it's supposed to be a deep draft for edge rushers, and if you're not looking for a 70% of the snaps, if you're looking for a rotational edge rusher, it's an even deeper group that you can find later on. So, I mean, it's conceivable at 56 or with one of those 3rd-round picks, you look up and you go, best player on the board's a wide receiver. And it's quite in a year where it's supposed to be really deep at that position. And, it'd be different. Like, if they signed Parker Washington to an extension in the next few weeks, I don't know if you would be spending a pick there. But it's funny, teams with wide receivers nowadays, don't. You look at Denver last year, right? They had Cortland Sutton. They had Troy Franklin, who they drafted a year earlier, who had played with Bo Nix. They drafted Pat Bryant. Who else do they have? Who was the return guy? Marvin Mims.
Yep.
Who was there, who was a pretty good player for them. They added Evan Ingram, and then who they just go out and traded for Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
Thank you. Right, to completely flip their depth chart. You looked at him, you're like, It's not the best wide receiver room in the National Football League, but it's pretty good. And you've invested draft picks in the last few years. And like, well, yeah, but we need more. We need this. We need a top of the depth chart guy. So I don't know. Do the Jags have a true top of the depth chart guy? I don't look at Parker Washington as ever being what Jamar Chase is going to be. Now, there may not be many guys in the league. That may be an unfair comparison. But you know what I mean? Like, Parker has great leaping ability, but he is shorter than, you're not going to have the same red zone impact typically as a similar athlete who happens to be 6'3", 210 pounds.
Right.
There's just certain physical limitations. Do you pay him like the top of the league? And those are guys that really don't have limitations on what their capabilities are. At least they've proven to put up numbers at a higher rate so far than Parker has.
Yeah, I do think Parker's contract is a really difficult one to figure out exactly what the Jags would even offer, right? To get that deal done for Parker, to prevent him from looking at free agency, which is just a year away, right? And what kind of offer could you make to Parker Washington right now that would forego that opportunity for him? I don't know what the answer to that kind of thing is. And if you were, I think that there's probably a number that you could offer that would get him to say yes.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Are you comfortable making the offer that would do that?
Right.
Can
you fit that in? Because in part two, do you want to see him do it again with a larger role, larger expectations from moment one?
And what that number would even be? I mean, is that,
I don't know,
25, 20 something?
You would think,
right?
Well, I mean, look at some of these pass rushers, and somebody pointed this out. Like, you got Devin Lloyd as a linebacker, right? Supposed to be the top guy. Got 14 or 15 a year on average, right? I mean, it's just not the
wide
position.
Receiver is premium.
Edge rushers and wide receivers are getting crazy money. Guys that have never been proven. Guys without a 10-sack season. Here's $20+ million a year. Here's high 20s for good but not great wide receivers. And, the Jags have a lot of guys whose contracts are coming up. For extension.
And it's a matter of how comfortable are you to bite the bullet on this, right? You look at where the numbers actually are in the league right now. Say it is 25 is the number that you're comfortable with in your mind. That's Jamison Williams, Devontae Smith, and Nico Collins getting that money right now, right? Are you willing to make him paid with those guys right now? Right. It's complicated.
I'm not willing to say 100% yes or 100%. And right now, probably no would be the answer to that. And he just hasn't consistently put up the numbers. You can also argue, well, he hasn't had the opportunity to do that. And when he finally had the opportunity to play a larger role, he broke out. We're not arguing against Parker, but coming into this year, his best year was 390 yards in the National Football League. So are you ready now, after 850 yards, we'll call it, with 5 touchdowns, are you ready? And granted, what he does in the return game is not insignificant, but are you ready to do that when you've got Anton Harrison and Trayvon Walker and these other guys that do some play premium positions as well that are also going to be coming up?
It feels like a situation to me that the 25, if you were willing to offer that to Parker, I think you get the deal done. With Parker Washington right now.
I would think he'd be crazy not to take that.
Like, I think he'd say yes to that. But if you aren't willing to make that kind of offer right now, from a Jaguars perspective, and say he does have a whole season this year like he had in the back half last year, and now he's looking at being one of the premier free agent wide receivers going into free agency.
By the way, just turned 24, I think.
Right. Next year. Are you willing at that point to make the offer in the 30s? Right, because odds are that's what the free agent market's going to do.
But that's part of it, right? Like, you could say, well, you should have got ahead of it. Well, what if Parker isn't? What if Parker with more attention paid to him?
Yeah.
Or what if he doesn't play at the same level? What if he hasn't nearly 15 yards a catch? And I'm not saying he can't be. He's shown us what he can do, but can you do it consistently year after year after year if you're going to make that kind of financial commitment? Now, then again, Tone, the Jags gave a pretty significant financial commitment after seeing just the tiniest window of impact from Jacoby Myers. I'm not saying it was insignificant in that window, but the window was short.
Right.
And the same with Cole Van Lanen in terms of being a starter for this team. So Parker Washington's like, well, I think I proved quite a bit last year, and I don't think Parker Washington's holding out. It is fascinating, though. Like, what are you willing to commit? What are you willing to trust right now? And what can you commit right now because you are a little tight against the cap. And granted, extensions sometimes lower that cap figure, but Parker's cap figure can't be that big this year at all. So it's not like you're going to get tremendous savings by going that direction with him either. All right. So again, today, question of the day, Jake Bobo's edition, kind of meh to super excited or somewhere in between. And granted, he's a piece. We're not trying to sell him as anything more than he is, but should be, if he does not have that offer matched by Seattle, end up being the 5th receiver probably for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Parker Washington's cap hit this year is 3.7.
Yeah, how much are you going to lower that or be able to lower that on a big money extension, right? If at all. There may be ways to do it. I'm not saying that, but it's not like the amount of savings you would get off that would be minuscule compared to the big picture overall. All right, we'll come back and we'll go to the phone lines for the first time today. Plus, it's Mock Draft Monday. We got a couple of 3-rounders for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Our man Chad Ryder over at NFL.com did us one better. He did a 4-round mock, and we'll take a peek at that. That came out on Friday as he joined us last week, previewing that a little bit. We'll look at the final results for what he had the Jags doing in those first 5 selections, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and another in the 4th round. With Tony Smith and RJ Saunders, I'm Mike Dempsey. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Picket here for nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools have been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools, summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
Dreamfinders Homes Monday on Jaguars Today.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster, the Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher, only at Firehouse Subs.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and if you think Closets by Design is just closets, you've got to see their brand new showroom at Phillips and Emerson. It's amazing what they can do. See for yourself how they custom design organization for any space. Garages, laundry rooms, bedrooms, even the man cave. It's all about smart storage that fits your lifestyle and budget. Schedule an appointment to meet with a design consultant and tour the showroom for ideas you can see and touch. Start at closetsbydesign.com.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service, Instant Keys comes to you.
here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. You hear about guarantees and warranties. What is Underwood's policy?
Frank, to talk about guarantees and warranties, you have to look at our history of over 70 years in business. Underwood's entire reason for existence is and has been to offer fine products that'll be used with such satisfaction that both the giver and the receiver will want to come back, and hopefully they'll tell their friends about us. To do this means we've got to try our hardest to satisfy every customer. All of our people understand that. Now, I'm sure over the years we've made a few mistakes, but we've never failed to make good on any Underwood product that was returned with a legitimate customer complaint. Our entire reputation would mean nothing if we didn't conduct ourselves that way. Simply put, conducting our business with integrity is a lot more important to Underwoods and our customers than all the guarantees, warranties, and contrived legal obligations in the world. And you've got Underwood's word, my word, and all of our people's word on that.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jaguars today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Jake Bobo watch for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Seahawks have until Wednesday, I believe, to match you off for 5 days. We'll see how it goes. And, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to be too upset one way or the other, Tony. I mean, obviously, that's a guy that the Jaguars feel is a good fit for what they want to do, but it's also not. You know, if Jake Bobo joins this team and we're ranking the best 53 guys in order at the end of August, I would imagine Jake Bobo would occupy a spot between 45 and 53.
Yeah, it's not a make or break thing.
No, it's not. But at the same time, it's a piece that they want to add and a vision of how he fits in. So we'll see if they're able to have Seattle hold off from matching that. 641-1010 if you want to get in. We'll unveil our Monday mocks coming up here in a few moments. Did a couple. First one was, I felt like every damn player was like the chalkiest guy. It was like,
yeah.
I feel like, have I done this exact mock, twice already in the last 5 weeks? So I did a new one, and I came up with mostly new names for it. I know you said you had 4 guys that...
4 guys we haven't discussed.
Really haven't talked
point,
about.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get to those coming up. Cody is going to lead things off at 641-1010 this morning on the Key Buick GMC phone lines. Cody, good morning.
Morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. What's up?
Oh, Mike, it was a tough day for me yesterday. I just wanted to say congrats to you and St. John's for beating my Kansas Jayhawks.
I didn't have anything to do with it, but thank you, I guess. Appreciate it.
Well, I just want to say I'm rooting for you guys, and go beat the hell out of Duke. I can't stand them, so you guys have a great day, all right?
All right. Well, there you go. All right. I would hope that would be the case, but I'm not expecting that to be the case. I picked it. I picked them to win, but I thought for sure they're going to blow that game. You know how it is, man. You're up like 13 or whatever in a game. There's like 11 minutes left. The clock's just not moving. It's just not moving. You look at the clock, you're like, it's still 11 and a half left in this game. And then, they pick away, and all of a sudden it's like a 6-point game. You're like, what the hell? And then your team goes into an offensive funk because they've just been really trying to work a little clock and not be super aggressive.
Yeah.
And,
the outs come slow with a 3-run lead in the 7th inning.
It was all that. Speaking of the outs coming tomorrow, T-Mobile Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
Is the week, ladies and gentlemen, if you're an MLB fan, if you're a T-Mobile.
Yeah, the
you have
Yankees
T-Mobile?
open Wednesday
Yankees open Wednesday
Netflix.
night, yes.
Yeah.
No T-Mobile for you, RJ? No? It's a good deal. T-Mobile Tuesdays, it's whatever it would cost you for a year of MLB TV. They give it to
wonder,
you.
like, when they decided to start doing things like that. Because, I mean, I've been
MLB
Tony
TV,
let me know about
NBA
it like 5
TV.
years ago. Like, they're always expensive, like the package, like the year package, and now here you can get it for free if you.
But it's like, what is the MLB package? Like $150?
I think it's $190 now.
Okay, so $200 for the whole year.
I would like to think the same, probably like for NBA TV. Well, at the time, NBA League Pass. I shouldn't say made, but NBA League Pass.
No idea.
The same thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
idea how that all works, but nevertheless,
I know I was buying
I like
MLB
getting it for
TV.
free.
Yeah, like every year I was paying for the subscription.
I was
pass.
not.
Like, I'm going to watch the Braves every day, so I was paying for it, and then T-Mobile said, we'll give it to you for free. I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's a nice little perk.
It's great. It's the one thing I look for every year. I never look for T-Mobile Tuesdays. Like, I don't, like, they have, like, save $2 off sub at Blimpie or what, I don't know, whatever they've got on there.
Yeah, they got different stuff on there.
And I'm
every
sure
week,
it's fine if you're one of those. I'm not terminally in the app, put it that way. I am terminally online, but I don't live in the apps trying to save the last 25 cents I possibly can, and maybe I should. I don't know. All right, let's get to Mock Draft Monday version, about 6.0? I think
we've been doing it for a while now,
around those points right now. Tone, I'll start things off today. And, again, kind of coming down to, just what positions were locked in. Let me just give you the 4 players in my first mock real quick, okay? I had Caleb Banks, who you guys both had last week.
Yeah, on Pro Football Network, I think he's going to be available at 56 every week.
Oftentimes, and I didn't do him last week, so I took him.
They have him at 55 on their list.
And look, I get it. I don't know how they're going to feel about his foot, but he did work out and put up some amazing workout numbers with the broken foot, right? So the athleticism is absolutely freakish. They said true 100th percentile tools. In other words, as good as anyone who gets measured playing that position.
And more than anything, because I know he's going to be there every week when we're doing it on Pro Football Net. I just know Caleb Banks is going to be there when I'm picking every week. And in my head, I don't know how accurate 55 on a player ranking list like they have him right now is.
Is that what they have, 55?
Yeah, he's 55 on their list right now. So he's going to be there at 56 basically every week when you're doing these kind of mock drafts. So I don't know how accurate that is to how the league feels about Caleb Banks, right? Because I know PFF, they still have him at 32. I think it is. I know Daniel Jeremiah on his most recent top 50 had him right around that kind of number 2. Everyone's had him kind of in and out of the first round. Still, it's hard to figure out exactly what the eval is. And again, because it's hard to figure out with the foot and everything else that's going on with Caleb Banks.
What do they know about the foot? What are the NFL doctors? What is their prognosis for how likely it is to reoccur?
And I try to put myself in the position of if it is draft day, right? And you get into the Friday of the draft and it's round 2 and it's 56 and Caleb's available. Do the Jags still there at 56? I'm trying to get in my own head as to how I'm going to feel about it in that moment. And I don't right now feel like it's going to be one of those where I see it and go, well, they got to draft him. I don't feel that way about it.
But if they do draft him, I think it'll be a case of I'm trusting the Gladstone-led front office and that the fact that they're taking him there
is what it is.
They would have had to spend 30 picks earlier to get him prior to this injury news. Now, it may be you don't want a guy that you're not going to be able to see on the field for a couple of months after you draft him. And I understand that. So I did think one comment was interesting. They said at Pro Football Network there's such a high degree of uncertainty with his sheer availability up front, let alone his developmental projection, blah, 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 that he's likely to fall into the mid-day 2 range, which is end of the second round.
Yeah.
Which is 56 is pretty close.
Yep.
So anyway, I had Jake Golday, the linebacker out of Cincinnati. I had Derek Moore, the edge rusher out of Michigan. Right? And I had Grayson Halton, the Sooners defensive tackle. I kind of doubled down on defensive tackle. But anyway, they're all names, and I'm like, done all these guys so many times. So the first official pick I made today, when I rebooted, I took Cassius Howell, who played for Texas A&M most recently, started at Bowling Green, had a 9.5 sack season there as a redshirt sophomore, transferred, and got lost behind a couple of NFL guys that season, but this last year had 11.5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, 6 pass breakups. Let's see, Howell's build and lacking power element relegates him to wide alignment, odd front, rush linebacker roles, but in that role he can thrive. I don't know if that's the case. If you are a guy who can rush the passer, I don't think you have to, if you're talking about playing him as a full-time guy, he is probably better as an outside linebacker in a 3-4. I don't know if you can't have that guy as your third pass rusher, though. Mm-hmm. If he's got because you're going to walk that guy up to the line of scrimmage anyway. In a lot of those circumstances, he said his upside as a designated pressure generator is astronomical. That's what we're looking for. So that's who I took with pick 56.
All right. I took at 56 the guy you just mentioned at 100.
Okay.
Grayson Halton, the defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. And again, this is with, Banks was still on there when I made the pick. There was one of the other defensive tackles was still on there when I made the pick, but I'm like, we talked about them. Right. And I thought to a large degree, it's like Halton just to have his name out there because we haven't talked about him yet.
I think I've had him in a mock prior
Right,
to
it's
today.
a big reason why I put him there. But out of Oklahoma, 6'3", 293, he's a 3-tech, pure 3-tech, and he's actually a little undersized even for a 3-tech. So there are big questions about exactly what his role is going to be. Even when he gets into the league, his arm length is something that teams are going to talk about because it's just over that 31-inch threshold. I mean, just barely over that 31-inch threshold. Is he an every down player in the league, or is he a player that gets 30 snaps in pass rush situations from the inside? I think that's really difficult to try to pinpoint exactly what that would be. Has a great first step, plenty of power. Can he keep interior linemen off him, though?
Right. Listed at 293. Yeah, but 30 to 35 snaps is not insignificant if you were the third defensive tackle.
No, yeah.
That's still a pretty good number. I looked back, I had him at pick 81 last week is where I had him. So he's been on our radar a little bit, but I like it. All right, RJ, who'd you take at 56?
I think one of you two have had him. I was trying to, select guys all except for one. But I tried to select guys I haven't selected yet in the draft process. So I went with Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker out of Texas.
How many times you refreshed that you had him there? Because I don't see him anymore when I do these mocks. He's usually gone.
So I refreshed twice just due to the fact of because I said Caleb Banks is there, and I said I would take Caleb Banks, without question. And Lee Hunter was also there as well. And I'm like, I think there's absolutely no way Lee Hunter is going to be there. So, Anthony Hill Jr., I was as surprised, but I said, listen, I would take him. He seems like he's a guy who's just simply everywhere on the field. What it does say in his profile, though, it seems that he's relying on his hyper elite raw talent more often than desired. I think that if he came to Jacksonville, they would be able to kind of, just shave that and polish that to where he would become just a much better player for Jacksonville. I don't know if you're asking him to start day one, because I do believe that they're in love with a couple of the other linebackers in which they have, but I do think he would pop out to the point to where they say, listen, we have to give this guy snaps on the field and just polish him along the way. And he'll become a long-term, benefit to us here in Jacksonville. So that's one of the big reasons why.
Yeah, if they take a linebacker at 56 who doesn't start right away, I'm going to be questioning whether they took the right linebacker at 56. So, or if you don't think he can beat out Ventrell Miller, he probably shouldn't be taken at pick 56.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I feel about it. But Anthony Hill, right now, maybe the best of group of 4 or 5 linebackers that could potentially be available at that spot. When you look at his athletic profile, very similar to Devin Lloyd.
The linebacker rank they have him as number 5.
Yeah. So, the 3 or 4 of those guys ahead of him have no chance. I'm talking about among the 4 or 5 guys that have a chance to be there at 56. I think he might be the most attractive of the group. All right, so that's what we did with our first selection for Mock Draft Monday. We'll come back, wrap up the other picks on the other side. You can share yours with us as well, AdamD_1010XL on the X platform. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. The action. The motion. You see that acceleration? Feel the active emotion of live play-by-play. It's amazing how much energy on 1010XL.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Jaguars Today. You're settled into a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
If you're thinking about getting a new roof sometime this year, Endless Summer Roofing can help. I'm Claudia, owner of Endless Summer Roofing. Stronger materials, expert installation, real peace of mind. A new roof isn't just an upgrade. It's the primary source of protection for your family home. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com for a free inspection today, and I'll make sure you're ready for tomorrow. Endless Summer Roofing. Protecting your home from Florida's endless summers.
The off-season is when you add speed, power, and precision to the team. This is your game plan. Keep the off-season rolling with AA Automotive and 1010XL. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Family run since 1954.
This is Frank Frangie. Over the past 11 years, the weight loss industry has seen it all. New medications, fad diets, sculpting. Yet Awaken 180 still stands alone as the proven solution for lasting weight loss. Results at awaken180weightloss.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Have you been thinking about selling your home and you haven't pulled the trigger? Let me tell you about Chad and Sandy and the experts that will help you make that decision. Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building, so now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Need to sell now, need to sell fast, need max price. Check, check, check. Chad and Sandy have the science behind it. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jonathan writes from Mount Pleasant. The only thing standing between me and my dream of hitting the road in my RV was selling my Mount Pleasant home. After hearing Chad and Sandy on the radio, I gave them a call. The results were unreal. In just 3 days, I had multiple offers at full asking price. So can you. Call the local experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200, or ChadAndSandy.com.
The Golf Club of Southampton is gearing up for brand new greens and a lot more, and now's your chance to save on membership before the fee increase. Take advantage of $1,000 savings if you join before the work starts in late April and before the initiation fee goes up. It's a great deal, plus $500 additionally in Pro Shop credit. Don't miss out. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Become a member now and save big. The course is in great shape, so head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee.
March is full of upsets, but your oil change shouldn't be one of them. Don't gamble with your time in a waiting room. Go with a proven winner, Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment, stay in your car, and a full-service oil change in 15 minutes. That's why Valvoline has a 4.7-star national rating and was named #1 quick lube in America by Forbes for customer service. Make the smart pick this March. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, easy, and built to win.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, let's squeeze them out in Mock Draft Monday without any further delay. Tony, you took Grayson Holton, the defensive tackle out of Oklahoma, for the Jags at pick 56. Our Mock Draft Mondays have been limited to the 3-round variety, 4 picks. And who are you taking with pick 81?
Yeah, I did get offered a pick here in a trade that if it was real life, I would be mad if I heard about it and the Jags said no. But I was like, what was it? I'm having a thought experience. It was 81 and 203 in this year's draft for 147, and they're 3, 4, and 5 next year from Washington. And I was like, yeah,
you're basically punting on 81.
Yeah,
right,
like that kind of thing. But yes, I would have done it, especially knowing that I still had picks at 88 and 100. On the back end of it. It's not like I'm that far away from being back in.
The third next year replaces 81, but you got to wait a year. But then you get the 4th and the 5th in addition to it, and a later pick this year as well. So, I mean, it's probably good value, but it's a long time to wait for the payoff.
No doubt. But I wound up staying there at 81 and took cornerback Davison Igbenusin out of Ohio State, 6'2", 185, 4'4", 540, outside corner, even described as an outside cornerback 2 in a more zone-heavy scheme is the way that he's talked about. I don't think the Jags have to grab a corner, but corner and wide receiver are premium positions in the league, and they are premium enough that they are always in play when you're in the draft, especially for a team that doesn't have a bunch of spots where they need a walk-in starter. As we've been talking about, 53 career starts at Ohio State, has a bit of a grabbing problem, but his technique and the penalty problem reportedly got significantly better last year. But we haven't talked a whole lot about a bunch of the corners here. This guy being there, at least I took a look at him, and yeah, if he was there in 81, it makes sense to me.
Okay, RJ?
This was the only guy that I'll continue to select. It's Tony's best friend from Vanderbilt, Eli Stowers. Just due to the fact that I'm still just of the mindset that we're going to need a pass-catching wide receiver on top of what we already have.
Or pass-catching tight end.
Pass-catching tight end. I mean, one of the two.
Yeah, he is a wide receiver.
This is a jet. Well, I mean, that's kind of almost how I'm viewing a little bit. Just a guy that you say when he's in the group. Okay, listen. If he's saying his blocking is decent, then okay. But I also like just due to the fact that he's able to catch the ball, and I mean, I like it more as him being the quote-unquote backup guy than like a Quentin Morris, where you're just saying, like, listen, he's more of the blocking tight end that we need to also supplement Britton Strange. I would also like a pass-catching tight end there that can also supplement when Britton Strange is out, even for a spell. I'm not saying for a long period of time. So this is the only guy that I have that I've selected, a myriad of times, but I just like him. So.
All right, that's fine. I'm not just again. I feel like I took the Denzel Boston pick last week, right? Because I felt like he was a pass catcher that there's no way I'm going to get. Like, here's the one opportunity I would have to get Denzel Boston. Like, I feel like Eli Stowers is going the other direction. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to spend an earlier pick based on buzz about him right now. And I don't know. I just don't love
Chad Ryder had him taken, who was it, Marlon Klein in the fourth round?
Yeah,
and looking at him, I was like, yeah, that's about, if they're going to go tight end, this is the type of tight end I think they're more in the market for.
I took Grayson Holton at 81. You had him at 56. So we don't really need to belabor that one, Tone. So I went edge with Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. Took Grayson Holton at defensive tackle. Who'd you get at 88, RJ?
Danny Dennis Sutton.
Oh, yeah.
From Penn State.
I had him at 100 last week.
Yeah, so, they say he was productive across the top 3 draft pick, Abdul Carter, in 2024. 8.5 sacks. In that year, 2025, he echoed that with 8.5 sacks, 12 tackles for loss. So it just seems like there's consistency there with him. I'm also trying to figure out what they're putting in the water at Penn State because right now we have 2 guys there that have been absolutely productive for us, in Parker Washington as well as Britton Strange. So let's go 3 for 3 here and get Danny Dennis.
Yeah, the write-ups on him are weird. Right, because he did have that production as a pass rusher, and then they talk about him coming in the league. They're like, I don't know how much production he's going to have as a pass rusher. Like, it's just a weird evaluation to me.
Well, I went with Penn State as well, but I went with the right guy here. I went with Drew Shelton, their offensive tackle out of Penn State. Tell me this doesn't sound like a Jaguar draft pick. Drew Shelton should be near the top of your list if you want a lineman who provides both positional versatility and security at left tackle. Goes on, he's good in the run game. He's good in the pass game. May not be great in any one, but we're also taking him in the late 3rd round. And he says he has NFL starter ability and projected interior flex. In other words, this guy can play like 4 positions, including left tackle. He may project. He's 6'5", 307 pounds. So he played big-time college football level. I definitely can see one of these 4 picks going on an offensive lineman here, and love the profile, the way it was written up. Who you got at 88?
At 88, I have wide receiver Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. 5'9", 177, 4.35 40. Projects as a slot player, real explosive potential, special team standout, competitive, has the right kind of reputation for the way he approaches the game from his time at Georgia. I don't like thinking or saying it, but Parker Washington being a year away from free agency, as we've already discussed this morning, leaves the team in a position where the front office can't be making decisions just assuming that a long-term deal is going to get done. Branch isn't a direct replacement necessarily for Parker Washington, but he profiles to give you a ton of what Parker Washington does give you as a special team standout. Again, he's more the slot guy than he is the outside guy, but that speed, the way that you could use him to kind of trick it up a little bit on offense makes a lot of sense.
All right, so we're on to pick 100 now, I believe. So we'll wrap it up. My last selection, I took Cassius Howell, the edge out of Texas A&M, defensive tackle out of Oklahoma, Grayson Holton, offensive tackle out of Penn State, Drew Shelton, and I picked this guy at least once before, Deontay Lawson, the linebacker out of Alabama. Got some coverage ability, got some rushing ability. He played more Mike linebacker than anything, so obviously they'd have to feel good about him playing in space a little bit more, but I think he's got the measurables to do it. And, again, it's one of the positions that I think they're going to be looking to add to with those first 4 picks. Who do you get at 100?
At 100, nose tackle Dominic Orange out of Iowa State, 6'2", 322, was on Bruce Feldman's freaks list. Doesn't profile as any kind of pass rusher. Draws and handles double teams well. Good first step. Excellent run defender. In short, he's a nose tackle.
Okay. RJ, last pick.
I shouldn't have fallen in love with the tape on this guy.
Another tight end, do you?
No.
Okay.
However, he is a guy that, on social media, it seems like he's being given the tutelage from one Hall of Famer or future Hall of Famer, I should say. And I'm taking a chance on this guy, and it's a below average value pick. I'd probably get fired. Landon Robinson from Navy. This guy eats
I hear you.
This guy eats double teams for breakfast. It just seems like you always have to account for this guy at the defensive tackle position. It seemed like that's what college teams were always they were trying to figure out where he was on the line each and every time. And I think it's not bad. I'm not saying he's going to become Aaron Donald. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying what Aaron Donald is teaching him is going to translate into the NFL. But I mean, if you're going to be learning from a guy and being the mentee of a guy, I think that's quite a guy to really be learning from. So.
Yeah, I've had him in a previous mock, and I think the tough thing for him is I think his range could be all over the board from what I'm understanding. Could he be a 3rd rounder? Yeah. Could he be a 5th rounder? Maybe. I don't know. And maybe that'll be silly, and he'll go early or late 2nd, or something like that, early 3rd. But all right, interesting, just trying to hit some of the positions of note. As we go along through the second hour today, we'll look at Chad Ryder over at NFL.com. Put together a 4-rounder. Did he hit some of the right guys? Want to weigh in on what we saw this weekend from Team USA going up against the 2 teams of NFL players in the Fanatics Flag Football Showcase. That and more coming your way in hour 2, including your calls at 641-1010. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for big number 1 Duval Ford. With truck time rolling all month long in Jacksonville, you can drive home a brand new 2025 F-150 with no money down, no payments for 90 days, and 0% interest for 60 months. That's right. You heard me right. A new F-150, 0 down, 0% for 60 months. See all the deals available now by going to DuvalFord.com or just swing by the showroom on Cassett Avenue, 1616 Cassett for big number 1 Duval Ford. It's truck time at Duval Ford.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Saluting the brave men and women who bravely salute our country. 1010XL. We salute you.
Hicken here. Experience crystal clear vision with the Eye Associates, formerly Bow 9 Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD, Jacksonville's leader in advanced eye care. From routine eye exams to specialized vision care, their experienced team dedicated to improving and preserving your vision. The same care you come to trust, now with a new name. To schedule your appointment today, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Jaguars Today.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
This is Dr. Gary Katay with Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville. I specialize in the treatment of the hand, elbow, and shoulder. Many people suffer from tendonitis in the hand and upper extremity, often caused by repetitive motion. Prevention starts with good posture, frequent breaks, and simple stretching. Don't ignore early signs of pain. Act before it worsens. Visit us in person or online at osjax.com.
Stay healthy with Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
You've always known Beard's Diamonds for, well, our diamonds. But have you heard about our watches? Beard's is proud to introduce a new and exciting selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. If you've tried to find a Rolex these days, you know how hard it is. But Beard's has scoured the country to put together an incredible selection of pristine Rolexes, thoroughly inspected and fully authenticated. These are like new Rolexes, all the most popular models, GMT Masters, Submariners, Sky Dwellers, and more. Come in today and check out our new collection of amazing timepieces. And if you have a Rolex to sell or trade, Beard's buyers are here with top dollar offers. Beard's Diamonds, always looking for new ways to give our customers the finest quality and the guaranteed best value price. Locally owned and operated for more than 4 decades, Beard's is your trusted source for fine diamonds, exquisite designer jewelry, stunning engagement rings, and now the finest luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Come find the Rolex of your dreams now. Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The First Coast Games is an annual team building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
The price of gold is soaring and the price of silver is near record highs. If you got gold or silver just laying around, Estates Roadshow wants it. Broken chains, old rings, coins, watches, diamonds, vintage jewelry. If it's valuable, they're buying it. No appointment needed, just walk in. Get a free appraisal and walk out with cash. They're also buying pre-1964 silver coins, flatware, sterling silverware stamped 925. They're buying coin collections, gold, silver, foreign, and domestic. Plus, they've been in business over 35 years with thousands of happy customers. Licensed, bonded, state-certified scales, highest tech equipment, employees with GIA certification. The Estates Roadshow is happening in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance, Sunday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more info, call Marshall at 609-781-6559 or go to estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming events.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Florida's run ended against Iowa, and head coach Todd Golden pointed to this as the reason the Gators are out of the tournament.
We were a little loose with the basketball in the first half. Unforced turnovers that showed up.
Florida State faces Florida at 5-Star Ballpark tomorrow. First pitch is at 6 p.m. Listen live on 1010XL AM and stream. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 71 degrees at 11:05. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we get to Chad Ryder, did a 4-round mock over at NFL.com, posted that on Friday. You can check that out at your leisure, but we'll go through the Jaguars selections here coming up in a moment. 641-1010. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, we go to Orlando. Looks like Irv is next up here on Jaguars today. Good morning, Irv.
Morning.
What's up?
You were talking wide receiver, resetting the market. Kind of reminds me of the previous regime. We get bogged down in that with when we re-signed Christian Kirk and we had Parker Washington in the wings, but we reset the market with Christian. I'm not sure we want to reset the market again with Parker Washington, but dadgum, I'd love to keep him. Does it look like we have $200 million players that we're going to have to re-sign in Parker and Walker?
Well, then you got Anton Harrison, too, who right now is your starting right tackle, and I would think Anton's salary is going to start at 20 with a 2, put it that way, on an annual basis. I hear what you're saying. You know, I always felt like that talk about Christian Kirk reset the market. He wasn't the highest paid receiver in the NFL. No. So I don't know how he reset the market, right? But people were saying, what a terrible contract. And I remember specifically at the time, you said, you want to see a terrible contract? Look at Kenny Galladay's contract with the New York Giants. Was way worse.
Gave him nothing.
Christian Kirk actually lived up to his deal, you know, when he was healthy, at least. And I hear what you're saying. But Parker what was Kirk when he signed here? I think he was a little bit older now. I mean, Parker just turned 24.
Right.
He's your homegrown guy. It's a tough position to be in, though, right? Like, and wide receiver is seen as more of a premium position now than linebacker is, certainly, because Devin Lloyd was your, quote, homegrown guy as well, and would have been more affordable than Parker Washington, just in terms of what his salary would be, you know, comparing the two salaries side by side. Devin Lloyd told the Carolina media last week the Jags did make an offer to him. So, you know, did they just hold firm on a number? They said, this is what we think his value is, Tony. Or they say, well, this is what his value is based on our current restrictions on how much cap space we have. You know, like if the Jags had $50 million in cap space instead of less than 10, would Devin Lloyd be a Jacksonville Jaguar? Would they have said, no, this is what we think he's worth?
This is the number.
And this is the number, period. Yeah. I don't know the answer to that because it does. I'm sorry. You can talk about wanting to be hard and fast on it, but when you've got more cap to play with, you are more likely, I think, to take a chance and expand your range a little bit because you want to keep the player. So I don't know. It is a very tough position to find yourself in because Trayvon is going to get crazy money out there. Whether you think he's worth 3.5 sacks, he's had a couple of double-digit sack seasons, okay? There are guys out there who have never had one who are getting over $20 million a year in free agency on the hope that they can become what their metrics indicate that they can become that. Now, you can make the argument maybe they don't play as many snaps as Trayvon, and on a per-snap basis, he's not getting the quarterback down. Whatever. He is definitely going to make a boatload of money.
For sure.
Okay? And you could say, well, he didn't get enough sacks, he didn't this, he didn't that, but he has a lot of good things. There are a lot of good things to Trayvon's game. He shouldn't cost you in the 40s, right? Is that contract going to start with a 3? And if it does, okay.
I think it likely will.
So if it does, all right, you're talking $30+ million for him. Can you do $30 million for him? Can you do $20+ million for Anton and $20+ million a year for Parker Washington?
At least Anton, you have the 5th-year option that you can pick up to take care of it for one more year, right? Like that's still on the table at least for him, but that's going to be at 20,
right?
Right, like that number's
already
already
set. And then that becomes
set.
the starting point,
right? The Parker one is complicated, and that doesn't even get it. Like, Brenton Strange is going to be a free agent, too. Antonio Johnson is going to be a free agent, too. Like, they're not going to be able to keep hold of all 5 of these guys.
You wouldn't think.
You know, like, it's just, it doesn't, I don't know what the path is to being able to do that kind of thing. And I do think because of the position that he plays, that Parker and Trayvon are the most difficult right now to figure out what that is going to look like. Like, are you willing to make those 2 guys, because of the positions that they're playing, are you willing to make them premium contract offers? Because that's likely what it's going to take to hold on to them. That's the reality of the National Football League. And so what do you do to kind of counterbalance that as you're going through this offseason into the draft and into the offseason next year as well for these guys and what exactly that's going to look like? It's a really complicated puzzle to try to figure out how to put it together.
Right. I'm looking right now if this number is correct, which, by the way, Anton also just turned 24.
Yeah.
I mean, young, man, young to be going into his 4th year in the National Football League, right? And he has been, I think, every bit worth the pick. Has he been the best lineman in the league? No, but he's a pretty damn good starting lineman. And you got him on a rookie deal right now. You're going to make, if you're Anton, about $2.5 million this year. Okay, but like you said, Tony, that 5th-year option, the club option is 19. It starts over $19 million.
Yeah, 19.1. Yeah.
So you're at 19.1. Okay, want to work out an extension, lower that cap figure. Okay, but my average annual value is not going to be less than 19.1. It's going to be higher, right? So you know, you're right. You got offensive tackle, even though it's a right tackle, still a pretty important position. You got wide receiver.
Quarterback's the only one you're not having to deal with.
Arguably, you're number 1. You got defensive end.
Yeah.
You got, like you talked about, you got Brenton Strange, who is, and in terms
of premium for you.
He's premium for you because not many guys are as good both ways,
right,
as a pass catcher and as a blocker as he is, right? I mean, there's George Kittles of the world and things like that, but there aren't many of those. And, you know, Kittle's older and he's hurt right now. You got a young, and I'm not saying he's ever going to be as dynamic as Kittle has been in the passing game, but he's a pretty good pass receiver.
Are you willing
he's
to
an
make
amazing blocker?
Yeah. Are you willing to make Brenton Strange a $15 million a year tight end?
Right. Have to.
Right? Is that what that position is worth? Maybe to you, it's worth 15 a year.
That's a lot. It's so, like, I get it when you say I don't want to lose Parker, but I don't want to set the market on a guy who's never had 850 yards. He came up just short of 850 last year. And granted, he only started 10 games, but he did start 10 games. You know, it's not like he started no games. He started a bunch. He was featured a bunch, and he produced a bunch down the stretch into the postseason as well. So I'm all for Parker Washington being a part of this team, but I think the Irv's call is great. It's tough to come up with the right value. I don't envy the juggling act. I envy the salary of James Gladstone. I don't know what it is, but I can guarantee you it's better than this. And not that I'm upset, but who doesn't want more? But in terms of the puzzle that he has to put together, not an easy one. So, it's one of those things we'll be tracking all throughout the entirety of this offseason. Do the Jags get ahead of it? And you figure they're going to get ahead of at least a couple of those at some point in time. The Jaguars today, question of the day, what's your reaction to the team signing wide receiver Jake Bobo to a 2-year, $5.5 million offer sheet? Bobo breakout incoming, solid depth or special teams addition, doesn't move the needle, or who? Jake Bobo, who? Those are your options. You can vote accordingly at MD_1010XL. Let's come back and look at what Chad Ryder at NFL.com projected in his latest mock offering for your Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL. 1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
Give him to me. No, I'm not giving it. I don't want to get physical. I want to fight.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Do you want to fight? I'll fight you. All right.
They are The Drill.
Not in the face. Not in the face.
Mornings on 1010XL.
If you or someone you know are having a special day soon, perhaps the birth of a baby or a big birthday for a senior citizen, Kuhn Flowers will send the perfect arrangement. JJ LaSelva here with 1010XL, and I've personally experienced the magic of a Kuhn Flowers delivery. Log on or call KuhnFlowers.com.
It's a Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's time to upgrade your ride at Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
Trade your Tesla for the ultimate luxury. Experience a brand new Cadillac EV.
At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, we have over 33 stunning EVs to choose from.
Feel the power and enjoy a range that takes you farther than ever before.
You love your Tesla, but it's time to elevate your ride. Pick the color and drive away today.
Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, where luxury meets performance. Visit us today.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent you.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Leon Serza here, your lemon pepper guy. You know Wingstop always delivers. And I'm not talking about their cooked-to-order, hand-sauced and tossed chicken sandwich in your choice of 12 mouth-watering flavors. I'm not talking about the house-made ranch. So good, nobody will blame you if you double dip. I'm talking about Wingstop that delivers straight to your door. And did you know they're open until 1 a.m.? So visit wingstop.com or use the app to get flavors delivered right to your door, late night, only at Wingstop.
Can't stop. Wingstop.
Patrick Young here, a.k.a. the Big PY, and you know I love my Florida Gators. Now you can hear my Gator basketball instant reaction following each Gator Hoops game. Look for my takes on the social channels of 1010XL, brought to you by VanguardSportsLeagues.com.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
The Clay County Fair turns 40 this year. 4 decades of crazy rides, live music, great food, and Team 1010XL's food eating contest. It's your main man, E.T., and I'll be looking for you April 2nd through the 12th. Learn more at claycountyfair.org.
A
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Whose world is this?
Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, we continue through hour number 2, first day of the week here on Jaguars Today. Obviously, a lot going on in the sports world. NCAA tournament rolls on. Major League Baseball rolls out their season on Wednesday night. The NFL draft now just about a month away from getting underway as well. And, Tony, last week we had Chad Reiter on.
Yeah.
Of course, from NFL.com. And he told us he had a 4-round mock in the tubes, ready to fire, and he did just that on Friday. A couple of interesting things, at least interesting to me. See if you agree or not. Tennessee at, I guess, really with Arizona at pick 3, Francis Mauigoa, they're seen as a Jeremiah Love landing spot, potentially.
Yeah.
Titans are the betting favorites to get Jeremiah Love. They pass on him for David Bailey, the edge rusher out of Texas Tech, and then the Giants take Love at pick 5. Again, there's a mock. We heard John Keim get all excited last week about the idea that Love could be available for the Commanders at 7 and that they would absolutely be a player for him there. Say what you will about positional value and all this stuff. I would rather the Tennessee Titans draft David Bailey than Jeremiah Love. I just think Jeremiah Love gives you more instant impact. Like, Bailey, if Bailey has a phenomenal season, he, could have 17 sacks. That's 1 a game. Okay? The 2 times he plays you, he might have nothing. I mean, like literally no stats and still could be seen as having a great year. Jeremiah Love is not going to have necessarily 17 touchdowns or 1,700-yard games, but he's going to impact you on a down-out basis, man, and just make that offense that much more dangerous, take pressure on Cam Ward. I would rather Tennessee opt for someone other than Jeremiah Love. That's me. So be it. We'll see how it all plays out. All right, so getting into the Jags range in round 2, obviously no first-round pick and no trades in this one. Tony, give me your thoughts on what Chad Reiter did. Beginning with pick 56, he takes Rayshon Benny, defensive tackle out of Michigan. I'm not as familiar with Benny as some others, but can't really argue with the position that he's nailing there.
Yeah, 3 technique. Right, if you go in and you look at what Benny is and kind of the evaluation is of him to this point, he's a 3 technique, although the write-ups that I've seen on him, not all that much pass rush production, right, from him as a 3 technique. He's kind of a tough eval, from the little bit that I've read about him when I saw him in the mock over the weekend there for Chad Reiter at 56 to the Jags. And it's more like, I know on NFL.com, the write-up had it as more capable of like a backup role for him there at the 3 technique spot. It's not that I don't think that kind of thing is in play, but it's interesting to keep, or at least have on your mind, all of the options that are actually available at 56 to the Jags. And if you're like me, if you have defensive interior at the top of your priority list, as far as needs for the football team that need to be addressed, this kind of name is the kind of name that may ultimately be towards the top of whatever list of guys might actually be there at 56.
Right, be likely to be available.
Right, so it may not be a name that you get super pumped about, even when you read about him, you don't get but it's like, all right, well, if they're going to address the position, I think this is what that might wind up looking like, is this kind of player.
For me, I would have taken Anthony Hill, who was available in this mock. But just to give you an idea, some of the names, and granted, we're going off, mock draft software that guys are available, we're taking them, right? That's kind of what we're doing in a lot of these cases. But here's some of the guys that I know we've all, at least one of us has mocked in the last month to the Jacksonville Jaguars, whether it's at pick 56 or often in the third round. I got Denzel Boston last week at 56. Here he goes 33rd, right? So, the likelihood of all these players being available, not that high. Let's see. Others Austin Barber, Florida offensive lineman. I know I've gotten him in the third round in these mocks. He goes at 43 here. Eli Stowers, your guy, off the board at pick 45 to the Baltimore Ravens. Not going to make it to 56. Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech goes to the Colts at 47. The linebacker there. Derek Moore out of Michigan. Edge rusher. We're like, get him as a third edge at pick 88. Here he goes, pick 50 in this one. Grayson Halton, we both had in our mock today, goes at pick 52. R. Mason Thomas, another guy I think I had him in last week's mock out of Oklahoma or in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Zachariah Branch, who I had in the third round today, went 53.
Went 53. Mason Thomas went at 54. All these guys are guys that were, to some degree, conditioning ourselves to go, well, this guy might be available. This might be available, or they'll be available in the third round. Like Anthony Hill, 62, that would be a fair value. Sam Roush, the Stanford tight end, who, used to get around pick 88, 100. I'll take a look. He goes pick 63 here. Malachi Lawrence, RJ, I know you've had him in several mocks out of UCF, goes pick 64. So it's like all these guys that we're getting 3 and 4 of, you're going to get one, maybe, out of this group. Certainly, and then maybe there are 4 or 5 of them at 56, but they're not going to all make it to 81, right? So anyway, all right. So for the Jags there, they go, as we mentioned, with Rayshon Benny, defensive tackle out of Michigan. So getting into round 3 now, let's see here. Pick 81 for the Jags, A.J. Halsey.
Yeah.
Senior safety out of LSU. I'll be honest with you, man. Again, we've gone through this. I don't know if safety, it really depends on what they know about Caleb Ransaw's health timetable. Then again, Tony, if you had told me last year that they're going to pick a guy who played nickel corner and make him a safety with their second pick in the draft, I would not have thought that they were going to do that. So I'm not one projecting safety in this range very often, but I think a lot of people are.
Neither am I. And the read up on him, again, over there at NFL.com, it is kind of funny, the overview at the very first sentence of it. Halsey, a.k.a. Mr. Give Me That, is a throwback safety with a compact, densely muscled frame and a pro-ready feel for reading the field.
Give me that.
Yeah.
Want some of that.
They say the read-up on him makes it feel like he's a better player moving towards the line of scrimmage than he is in space on the back end, right? So it is kind of
a disruptor, a blitzer.
Right, that kind of thing. And he's more kind of the 5, 7, 10 years ago, this is what the picture of safety that was kind of in your head. Like everyone was looking for that box safety. This is kind of where he would fit.
Well, and again, we've got Eric Murray, but for how long? Probably one more year. Right?
There's so many positions where we're all right with a bunch of guys, but it's for
Antonio
one more
Johnson,
year.
rising star. Contract up after this year.
Yeah.
Oh, so Caleb Bransaw drafted him to probably win a starting job last year. Didn't play a snap. Bit of a mystery. So I get it.
Their options are so wide open.
They go Kyle Lewis or he goes Kyle Lewis. Chad
I love
did.
Kyle Lewis.
The Pittsburgh linebacker at 88. What do you love about Kyle Lewis?
He's kind of a tweener guy. He's kind of between a linebacker and a safety playmaker. Athletic guy, asked to do a bunch of things while he's been in college. He's good in space. He's good moving forward. He's got a little bit of pass rush. Like he's a little bit of everything. And if you were looking to bring him in and let him be kind of, this is what we're going to do. We're going to let him play a lot of weak side linebacker and move him around a lot. I would love for that to be the type of prospect they'd be looking at if they're looking to bring in a guy that could be a starter, quote, at linebacker form, including in sub-package stuff. Kyle Lewis fits that bill.
All right, few guys that were on the board at 81. for the Jags. Genesis Smith, who I've seen mocked to them a few times. Gabe Jacobs, who we've mocked to them a few times. They went with the next couple of selections. Carson Beck goes 85 here to Pittsburgh. Darrell Jackson out of Florida State goes 86. So it'd be in that middle range right there. Caleb Tiernan, the Northwestern offensive lineman, who we've mocked to the Jags several times as well, goes one pick after Kyle Lewis. So they would have had a choice in that scenario. Pick 100, they went with Charles Demings, who's a corner, as Stephen F. Austin. Again, the position is one that they will address at some point, you would suspect, in this NFL draft. And at 124, Marlon Klein, the Michigan tight end.
He's the German kid.
Yeah, I think, like, once you get into the fourth round, all bets are off on any of this stuff.
And I did read a little bit about Marlon Klein because I know we're going to continue getting on people to talk draft as we get closer and closer to it. But at some point, I am going to ask somebody, who is the best blocking tight end in this class? Right? Like, I don't care what they are really as a receiver. If they can give me a little bit as a receiver, that's fine. Do they block? Right? Like, because I do think that is the one thing you have to do to be involved in the Jags tight end room. And reading a little bit about Klein, it seems like he gives you a little bit more of that than most of the tight end prospects that you read about. They just talk about his receiving prowess, right? Like with virtually everyone, I'm like, well, I don't care.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's interesting they talk about him. They say he has a chance to be a day 3 pick as a backup wide blocking tight end.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's what.
Right. Do I need to draft a backup blocking tight end?
I don't know that they do.
I don't either.
Like, I'm not sure the conversation we were just having about the contracts.
The next Quentin Morris of the world.
Right. Like the contracts they're going to have next year. I would not be at all surprised if the way the Jaguars handle it is Brenton Strange is going to cost $15 a year. We're not paying that at tight end. Right. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they fall. And it's like, we're not paying that money for that position, so they just go find it somewhere else. Even if they can't find a direct replacement for Brenton Strange, I don't know that they'd be all that frustrated if they can't directly replace him.
Right. Well, we'll see. Like we said, a lot of tough decisions to make. Again, Mock Draft Monday, more about the positions than it is about the specific names for these guys, at least at this stage, still a month out. I'm sure they're honing their board, and they have a pretty good idea of who they like, specific names, so they don't get the luxury of just slapping a few names out there every Monday.
Been at least a half dozen names that they listen to the show today and are discussing it. They're like,
right. They're probably like, nope, not a good fit, or yep, but he'll be long gone, or yep, but we're gonna get him in the 5th round, or something like that. So hey, I hope they're right. I'd rather them be right than us 100%. Ultimately, because nothing we say is gonna have any actual impact on what they do. All right, when we come back, let's look back at the Fanatics Flag Football Classic. Is it classic? When
they called it one.
And I know I'm not a big fan of the use of the word classic improperly, but nevertheless, it was pretty eye-opening if you watched any of it this past Saturday. NFL players going up against Team USA in the flag landscape. We'll get into that coming up as we continue along Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here to tell you all about 5-Star Bass Solutions. Couldn't be happier with these folks. I shopped around, got a great deal from them. They worked with me. They knew exactly what we were looking for, converting our tub into a walk-in shower, and the project is done. They did it in a day and a half. Absolutely beautiful, super professionalism, took great care of my house, and really the finished product is absolutely amazing. I posted some pictures on social media of it, but I couldn't be happier. If you're in the market for an upgrade for your bathroom, 5starbathsolutions.com is where you got to start.
Jaguars
Today
from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. It's full tilt to the finish line.
Going into 3 for the lead.
It's a half mile of havoc at Martinsville Speedway.
The race for the win.
NASCAR is revved up by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 and 1010XL.
Got a dent or a scratch that needs fixing? San Jose Collision in Mandarin offers expert auto body repair and works with all insurance. Family owned and locally trusted. San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Jaguars Today.
It's a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Picking here. Oh boy, you know I love a good flash sale, and we got one right now from Zero Res. This week only 15% off all cleaning. It's International Cleaning Week, baby. Carpet, air ducts, tile, grout, upholstery, hardwood, area rugs, and more. Be the household hero and book now. Call 287-5727. Flash sale this week only for 15% off all cleaning from Zero Res. Tell them Dan sent you. Zero Res, spelled backwards and forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
The First Coast Games is an annual team-building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our two-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
I'm Frank Frangie. Life-changing is an understatement for the 180 I've seen with my daughter Amber. She's now lost over 100 pounds with Awaken 180 in just 9 months. A true 180. Not just on the scale either, in her energy, her confidence, the way she lives. And what I love about Awaken 180 is we knew it would work. It wasn't a hope, it wasn't a guess that maybe it'll work. Amber started the programming knowing this was going to be her solution. Now, you've heard stories from our hosts and clients and probably people you know personally who've reclaimed their life thanks to Awaken 180. It works for the person who needs to lose 25 pounds. It worked for Matt Hayes, who wanted to lose 40. It worked for Hacker, who's lost more than 120 pounds. And it's worked for Amber, who's well over 100. That's why I believe in it. Whatever your scale number is, call the number that will work for you. 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com. Once again, that number is 844-346-1800, or you can reach them online at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
What's going to get me through until the next round of the NCAA tournament? Daredevil. It's coming tomorrow. Have you? Did you watch the last season of Daredevil Born Again?
I've not watched it yet. No.
Man, honestly, other than Eyes of Wakanda, which is like that animated, like historical backstory of Wakanda and Black Panther and all that, I don't know if there's a single Marvel thing that they put out under the MCU banner that I haven't watched yet. So I'm pretty fired up for Daredevil Born Again. You a comic book movie guy at all there, RJ?
Yeah, I mean, I have like a couple of buddies from college who were like big into that. I haven't watched as much as I would like to nowadays, so I'm not like up to date on everything that's going on. But because of them, I'm into like the comic book superhero stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to each your own, man. If you're not into it, a lot of people are over it, and that's fine too. I'm not. I love it, man. I grew up on Marvel Comics, bro. And every time I go to a comic book shop, well, my son will go. He's into whatever graphic novels he's into. I'll always look through all the old issues and be like, yeah, I had that one, and just kind of flip through it a little bit. And
you have a favorite superhero, or
I was a Fantastic Four guy.
Yeah,
you know, as a kid. So the Thing was was my dude.
It was kind of fun. A couple months ago now, the woman that my roommate is dating came over with her son, and we were talking comic books for a couple minutes, and he had mentioned that he loves Venom, right? But he kind of loves the new Venom. And I was like, oh, hang on. And I went to the back room and I was able to bring out a bunch of the, like when he started his own comic series, I have the original run of that Venom comic. It's like, I had these when I was like your age, dude. Like, that's how long I've been holding on to these. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot of fun to be able to.
Those exist?
Right. Like that kind of thing. That was fun.
Yeah. I love that stuff, man. All right. Today's golden moment. Well, it's a reset. If you still have your Final Four teams alive. Maybe not for Gator fans. A lot of folks in our in-house bracket here lost either Florida winning the championship, in the championship, certainly in the Final Four. I would say over half our folks had that.
It's funny seeing the list as it came out, and they've still got 3 of their Final Four. I was like, I bet I know the one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. It's not a huge. What do you got? Like 20 people.
Yeah.
In this, so it's not the biggest thing in the world. But yeah, definitely. Let's see. Hayes still in first place, but he had Florida versus Arizona in the finals. And being in first place right now, you got 44 points. I got 43.
Doesn't mean much.
Not that worried about it, right? If I lose any of my Final Four teams, I will likely not win the whole thing. Does anyone else have Houston, Arizona?
I don't think so.
No, 2 people do. Jack O'Brien and Jeff Prosser, but they're both behind me right now. So
they both have Florida in the 4?
They must have had Florida. I know Jeff said he had Florida in the 4, but I don't think he – or no, he said he still has his Final Four intact. So Prosser did not have the Gators going to the Final Four. Anyway, there you go.
Non-believer.
I guess. I didn't have them either. I did have Vandy going advancing to the round of 8, Tony. So I was a believer. That didn't seem to help the Commodores. All right, before we dig into a little bit, look back at the United States national flag football team versus NFL players, Tony Smith going to take us around the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The Tennessee Titans have agreed to terms with linebacker Mahmoud Diabate. He was signed as an undrafted free agent with Cleveland in 2023, started 18 games for the Browns in the last 3 years. The Browns did not tender him as a restricted free agent. The Philadelphia Eagles are trading safety Sidney Brown to Atlanta. The Falcons are sending 4th and 6th round picks to Philadelphia for Brown, and 4th and 6th round picks in return. The Eagles move up 8 spots in the 4th round and 18 spots in the 6th round in the trade. And Seattle picked up the 5th-year options on wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba and cornerback Devon Witherspoon. Today, Seattle announced a 4-year deal for $168.6 million, an extension done with Smith-Njigba. That his $42.15 million average annual value on the deal, nearly $2 million more than Jamar Chase's $40.25 million contract that he signed last year. Teams have until May 1st to make a decision on whether or not to pick up the options on 2023 first-round draft picks for Jacksonville. That would be Anton Harrison, whose 5th-year option value would be $19.1 million for the 2027 season. The only player, besides the 2 Seattle players, to have had their options picked up so far is first overall pick that year, Carolina quarterback Bryce Young.
All right, thank you, Tone. Just a quick thought, looking back, I didn't plan to watch the flag football, but, as I'm watching NCAA action, I went to, ESPN.com or wherever. And I'm like, they're like, United States national team dominates first couple. And I'm like, I probably missed. Wanted to see just a little bit of a comparison. So I tuned in. They had the 2 squads of NFL players, or former NFL, mix of current and former NFL players and influencers and whatnot, playing against each other for the right to get to the championship game. Up until that point, United States national team had blown out both squads. I mean, scored on literally every possession. Had a couple of pick sixes, were just absolutely dominating. And then you get to the championship game, and to see Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels to sit there in the backfield and like, don't snap it. Don't snap it. Don't snap it until there's like 2 seconds left, because we know as soon as we score, we can't stop them. The only hope we have is to limit possessions, to get lucky on a defensive play, and they still ended up losing by 10. I mean, look, a couple of things. Yes, granted, they didn't have years of training for this. But do you think they're all of a sudden going to stop paying attention to what their meal ticket is right now? Like, you watch Saquon Barkley in this, Tone. His problem was he couldn't overcome his own instincts of playing football. When guys are coming to get me, I'm going to try to run through contact, or I'm going to try to jump to avoid, and he can't do any of that stuff. And it's not allowed. And they're out there. Rob Gronkowski. I mean, we said it last week. It was ridiculous. That's not a flag football player. You need to be quick and nimble, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Like Ice Baby told you back in the day, all right? Logan Paul or Jake, I don't even know which Paul it was, one of the brothers. They have him lining up, and literally the whole game they made him rush the passer, which is just doing 15 to 20-yard sprints over and over and over again. Myles Garrett was supposed to be on one of these teams, would have been useless in this scenario.
Yeah.
He's a great pass rusher because he can put his 285 on you and put his hands on you and ragdoll you and then continue on to the quarterback. This is just a sprint. He's not the quickest guy to get to run 15 yards. So these big guys, the rosters weren't made up right. They didn't have as good a feel for the rules. And let me just tell you, these guys on the national team are just flat out good at what they do.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, put the pads on. That's not the game. It's their game.
They're playing flag football.
And they are amazing. That Doucette guy was unbelievable, Tone. And I mean, and it was just so obvious there's so much time on task with the national team that if you were going to tell me you were going to take a bunch of like Devon Achane or ETN or whatever he's calling himself down in Miami, that kind of a running back, and a bunch of defensive backs and a couple of mobile quarterbacks and a couple of shifty receivers. Okay, that's the makeup that we're looking for. And you're going to tell me you're going to commit the time it takes to master the craft like these guys. I just feel, again, I feel like the whole thing turned me off with, here's Tom Brady out here. And then he's going, I don't know, it makes you wonder, could I still play? Is he angling to be the quarterback to add a gold medal to his resume? You didn't earn it. I'm sorry, you didn't.
Right.
Whatever you did in the NFL didn't earn you the right to jump the line on these guys. Prove you're better than them. Not because we want to bring more attention to this sport or highlight it more. Prove you're better, and then fine. Let the best man win. That's what it should be about.
Yeah, like I didn't watch a whole lot of it this weekend, but I have seen some of the highlights, and I'll tell you, the most compelling highlights are when the flag football players are making NFL athletes miss.
Making, like, you have two, there were multiple occasions, two guys right in front of a guy.
Right.
And this guy is breaking ankles, dancing back and forth, and then would dart right between them, and they come up empty. And
when he's sliding sideways between NFL defenders because now my flag is harder to grab, and I know they haven't done this before.
Yeah.
So I know, like, I can do this at the beginning of my training, and I learned this trick, and now everyone I play against knows what I'm doing, but the NFL players don't know.
No.
Right? Like, you can pull that trick out. It's, it's like, oh, you're allowed to do that? Yeah, that's how you do this.
Again, you could tell me, take the best athletes and they'll dominate. That's fine. If they're going to put in the time to do that, then prove to me that that is where you're at, not just because we're used to seeing your name called on Sunday. So I was glad the way it went down, quite frankly.
Do you think it was an out-of-bounds comment? I saw on Twitter following the loss that individuals were saying, oh, this is a bad look for the NFL. How do you lose to amateurs?
Well, anybody who's saying that doesn't have a grasp of how different the games are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a different game.
Not a bad
man.
look. They're not playing the same game.
Right. It's just a different game out there. And honestly, I was surprised. I mean, these guys are running around like, and by the way, could there have been less of a crowd for this? I mean, there was no one there. No one. Like the Jacksonville Sharks are like, we got 10 times. I mean, unbelievable how empty that. But these were stars. This is Brady and Gronk and huge name guys. Empty. I mean, empty. They didn't even bother to try to hide it. There was no hiding it. There were the whole sections of the stands with nobody in them.
Or all at the NCAA tournament.
Or whatever.
Or
but
Saturday.
But still,
Right.
you would think, I mean, because again, like the guys on the drill set, I doubt these guys were playing for free, right? So what did it cost you to put this on and make absolutely nothing doing it? It's what it seemed like. But anyway, not that big a deal either way. I just don't want to see anybody jump the line. If they earn their spot, so be it. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap this one up on a mock draft Monday. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, RJ Saunders on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for my friends at Dandy Foods. Love those folks, locally owned and operated by the Thompson family, by the way, since way back in 1956. That's 70 years ago. 70 years. I talked about Dandy for well over a decade. Personally enjoyed them for about 3 times as long. Dandy is the perfect go-to when you're in a hurry and you don't want the hassle of a long wait. You can't go wrong. They're a great value compared to the drive-thru. You get fast, fresh, and always tasty food waiting for you in the cold case at convenience stores all over town. As a matter of fact, right down from the Jacksonville Zoo, too. Try the Sunoco station on Heckscher. San Marco Foods, they've got a great selection of dandy sandwiches, whether it's a monster classic combo or delicious meatball sub. You're going to get plenty of choices to satisfy even the hardiest of appetites. When I say plenty of choices, I went into a Circle K last week. 34 different varieties of dandy goodness out there for you. When you're hungry in Duval, dandy's the name to know. So when you are, do what I do. Go out and make yours a dandy and do it today.
Jaguars today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
The new Ackerman Cancer Center is now open in World Golf Village with state-of-the-art technology that detects cancer fast and accurately. Same-day appointments are available where faster answers meet compassionate care. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Dreamfinders Homes, Monday.
On Jaguars Today.
Gold and silver prices are near all-time highs. If you have old jewelry just laying around, Estates Roadshow wants to buy it. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. The Estates Roadshow is in the First Coast area Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance. Get cash in your hands for your unused jewelry. More info? Visit estatesroadshow.com or follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming local events and locations.
What if every day felt like a private resort in your backyard? Premier Outdoor Inc., Jacksonville's #1 pool builder in the 2025 Best of Bold City Awards, creates entire outdoor living spaces, not just pools, custom pools, heated spas, summer kitchens, cabanas, fireplaces, screen enclosures, and more. Veteran and first responder owned, turn your backyard into an unforgettable retreat. See what you could build at premieroutdoorinc.net. Premier Outdoor Inc., a visionary of hardscapes and aquatics.
The moon, the wall, and beyond. Celebrate two of the most iconic albums in rock history. Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall, a breathtaking show that captures the spirit, sound, and spectacle. Brit Floyd, Saturday, March 28th. See Brit Floyd. Tickets on sale now at floridatheater.com.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow, mirrors cut exactly to your style, fogged or broken glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
For the ultimate and unique gift ideas, visit CuneFlowers.com. RJ Saunders here, and no matter what the reason, Cune Flowers has it all. Sending flowers was never so easy, either online, on the phone, or in their super cool showroom. Cune Flowers converts the extra point every time.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
We got a lot of mocks in, Tony. It's getting to be that time now. We're about 4 weeks out, so we got a ton of them coming in today. All right, here, how would you vote? Your reaction to the Jag signing Jake Bobo. You know the options out there. A Bobo breakout incoming, solid depth addition, doesn't move the needle, or who?
Special teams, yeah.
Solid depth special teams. Right? And that's the overwhelming majority of people picking that. And that doesn't move the needle. I get it for people who say that because it may not matter who would be your fifth receiver. That guy, I don't know if Tim Patrick moved the needle when they signed him. Doesn't mean it was a bad signing, right?
Tim Jones was a good player here for a while, doing exactly that role.
Crazy excited about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Jake Bobo's supposedly a really good blocker, and we'll see if he ends up a Jacksonville Jaguar. Seahawks have 2 more days. 64% say solid depth, special teams addition. 21% going with doesn't move the needle. 8.6 said, who? And 6.6 are the true believers, dipped in teal, Bobo breakout incoming. What would that even look like? 30 catches for Jake Bobo? Don't know. All right.
A 70-catch season at Duke.
That's Duke.
Yep.
Okay. I might have had a 13-catch season at Duke. I didn't, but I might have, as far as you know. All right. That will do it for us today. So let's welcome in XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Big Sirs, what's up?
What's going on, gentlemen?
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
How did you spend your sports weekend?
I watched basketball tournament time, baby, all weekend long.
Yeah, I watched a ton.
Taking a look at my brackets. Bracket is proudly say 98.4 percentile as far as Sweet 16 goes. I didn't have Florida.
How many got left?
I got, well, out of the 16, I got 14 right.
That's really good.
Yeah.
How many in your Elite Eight?
My Elite Eight.
Did you have Florida in the Final Four?
I did not.
You did not? Okay.
I did not.
Is your Final Four good?
My Final Four is still good. I had Illinois. I had Arizona. I had Michigan. And one more. I can't remember. St. John's.
St. John's.
St. John's.
Smart man right there. Smart man right there. All right. Well, apparently you did not get in our bracket challenge at 10-10.
I did. I missed the day. I missed the deadline.
That's good for us. I got my Final Four left, Leon, but I only have 10 Sweet 16 teams. So,
okay.
You know, you'd be a little bit ahead right now. What's coming up on the program today?
Well, we're gonna talk bracket, and we're gonna talk Hurricane Pro Day.
Okay.
Yeah, Pro Day today.
There you go. All the short arm guys are getting be on display today. So
see if the Jaguars go to that.
Hey, that's all I got, bro.
Okay,
what do I have? You know, I got nothing on you. Leon, have a great show.
Appreciate it.
All right, there he goes. Big Sirs coming up with XL Primetime. Tony, tomorrow, Tuesday Top 5. Don't know what it's going to be yet. But we'll come up with something for the Tuesday Top 5 for sure. That will do it for us today. Thanks for playing along. For those of you who did, as we are just about a little over 4 weeks out from the NFL draft. So we'll be excited to continue to chronicle that as it gets closer. We'll do a Tuesday Top 5 tomorrow. Probably have a few draft guests in the next few days as well. For Tony Smith and RJ Saunders, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thank you for listening to Jaguars Today. Back again tomorrow from 10 to noon here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom